Hi, my name is Siri Kommedahl, and I'm a program manager at Atlassian. And I'm here to talk to you today about why the why is important in project management. Let's start by thinking about the last event that you organized or participated in. It could have been an overseas vacation or a wedding or a big move or a celebration of some meaningful event. You knew exactly why you were doing it, and most likely you had a vision of the experience that you anticipated. For example, I recently attended my niece's wedding in Norway. I certainly wasn't the owner of the event, but I had jobs to do, as did many people. Music, speaking, invitations, transportation. My jobs were passing out the programs and greeting people and giving a speech at the reception. Many friends and family members were engaged in making the event a success, and it was. And everyone who helped make it so felt an extra special sense of satisfaction because their role as a part of it was a part of the success, and it made it an exceptional experience. I'm sure you can all relate to that. So now let's think about a work project. Do your stakeholders and teams feel equally engaged and enthused about their role in the project's success? Do they know why it's important? Do they know it's important to whom? And most importantly, do you? I interview a lot of program managers at Atlassian, and one of the questions I ask them after we've gotten through the skills and experience is, what is your definition of a great day? What makes you feel deeply satisfied at the end of the day? And I get a variety of responses to this. Sometimes I get an answer about, I got everything on my to-do list done today. That's a great sense of accomplishment. And that's about the what. What are the tasks that that I've identified and that I need to complete in order to keep myself on schedule? As a project manager, you need to be well organized and be able to get shit done. Really important. Sometimes the answer will be about solving a problem, the work itself. This feels good too. That's the how in the project work. This could be solving a challenging technical problem, or perhaps it's finding a root cause of an issue, or leading a team through a problem-solving exercise that produces a key insight. Loving your work and getting excited about solving problems can be very satisfying. Sometimes the answer is about helping a colleague, and that's driven by empathy and their care for others. As a project manager, if we don't take the time to build authentic relationships with our teammates, you could be seen as the drill sergeant, just executing on other people's instructions, and people will start to avoid you rather than want to work with you. So that teamwork, that collegiate feeling and working together on things, really important to get things done. One of the answers sometimes I get is a story about a team struggling with motivation, or feeling unmotivated, feeling worn out, feeling burned out, or under pressure to deliver without a way to prioritize the work, and a sense of accomplishment in that. The program manager in this particular story was able to inspire them by sharing their own passion for the outcome and by helping them understand why their work is so important and the impact that will have for the company or the customer. So why does that really make a difference? How do we work differently when we know why we are doing it? Well, the simple answer to that is that we are human beings. We're not resources, we're not headcount, we're not lines on a spreadsheet. We're human beings. And as humans, we want purpose and meaning in our life. We can love the work itself and getting shit done and the interaction with other human beings. Those are all good, satisfying things to do. But deep down, we want to know that our work matters and that the place where we spend most of our energy is also where we provide value by delivering something that matters to someone else. It's built into our DNA, this desire, this need to connect with what we do with a higher purpose, and one that's greater than ourselves. So when you really think about it, what would you rather do? Get your tasks done for the day, checking off those to-dos, or changing the world? I know that we may not be ending poverty and changing the world, bringing world peace, but there's a reason for why we're doing what we're doing and why somebody has asked us to do what we're doing, and it will make a difference to someone. So what does that have to do day to day with project management specifically? Employees who find meaningful work are happier, they're more productive, and they're harder working. In fact, many surveys have found that a majority of people would make a trade-off on less pay for more meaningful work. So let's break that down. As a project manager, you most likely don't have the whole team, all the resources reporting to you. Yet you're the one who's responsible for delivering the project on time and on budget. You're counting on the teams to give their best to the project, to find solutions to obstacles, to motivate their teammates, to go above and beyond, and not because they have to, but because they want to. Because they are as invested in the outcome of the project as you are. So you're most likely relying on your ability to influence without authority, and that's a special skill of a project manager. Now let's talk about the other side. What happens if teams do not have the connection to the why, of why they're doing what they're doing? We've all been in situations at some point where we're asked to do something, like a report, a piece of work, information, where we didn't really understand why we're being asked to do it. It feels like busy work. You may resent having to spend time on something when it doesn't seem important to you. You don't know what the work will be used for, so you don't know how much effort or detail to put into that work. Hard work without purpose is just hard work, and none of us like that. Look, some other consequences of not understanding why we're doing what we're doing. Motivation of teams. Teams who become unmotivated, have low morale, serious consequences of their productivity. You may be making poor decisions, perhaps a decision that may be good for the team, but not for the outcome of the project. And also when you're prioritizing work, when you're going through your sprint planning, when you're going through prioritization exercises, if you're not choosing the work that's advancing your objectives, you may find that you don't make the progress that you want, and your teams will lose their sense of urgency and purpose. So let's look at a few ways to align teams on the why. If you're convinced that aligning teams behind the why is a key to your success, let's find some ways to do that together. So Atlassian has a playbook of various plays that you can run with your teams that highlight different areas and focus on different parts of project management. You can find these on our website. They're freely available. Google Atlassian Playbook and they'll most likely come up, or look on our site and you can find all of these in the playbook section. Here's some examples of some of those plays. Decision-making, trade-offs, prioritization, how to create and score great OKRs, what are roles and responsibilities for a project, and some best practices in retrospectives or dependency mapping. In this, we're going to talk right now here about 3 particular plays that are specifically relevant to aligning people on the why. The project kickoff, a project poster, and a health monitor. So let's start with the project poster. If you start out aligned, you'll have a much greater chance of staying aligned as you move through your project phases. So a project kickoff should have your core team involved so that they in turn can inspire their teams as they go forward. In this session, you align on your vision, set your definition of success, and establish some guiding principles to help when times get rough. This is very important. We all know that things can change during a project. And if we go back to our guiding principles and the vision that we set in the beginning, we will have a good anchor that we can use to deal with those changes. It's helpful if you align with your project sponsor or any senior management before that session to really understand the highest level of purpose for this work. What's it tied to? What kind of company strategy? What kind of customer outcomes will be expected from this project? You're the cornerstone for helping others believe in the mission and purpose. Your product manager, who is connected to your customers, is also a key stakeholder here. At the end of this session, you'll have an agreement on what success looks like, and you'll have rough milestones, and most importantly, you'll have an aligned team. From there, every participant should be able to give a simple explanation of the work and the value that it delivers. If not, there's a play for that too. And then you know that whoever's asking, they will get a consistent, aligned answer from anyone on the team. That elevator pitch is what you want to all align on. Now let's talk about a project poster. So this is a document. It's a living document that you will update throughout your project. Creating that project poster pushes you to document your thinking as you go through different phases of your project. That initial wonder discovery period, you'll be understanding what the problem is that you're trying to solve. What's the impact of the problem currently, and define what the customer impact of that is. So you're looking to outcomes that will address the problem and the impacts that creates. As you progress through exploring options and into execution, you'll continue to affirm your why and be able to make any changes as you get new information. This is a great document to share with others to help them understand why you're doing what you're doing. Pointing people to the project poster and shows the thinking of how you've evolved through understanding the problem and how you're going to address the problem is great, especially in a large company when everybody isn't going to be involved in the same project and needs some explanation. Now let's talk about health monitors. A health monitor is your team's chance to take an honest look in the mirror. So you'll be assessing your team against 8 attributes that are most commonly found in healthy teams. These attributes are a little different depending on what kind of a team health monitor you're going to be doing. We'll talk about those in a minute. And you'll identify the strengths in the team as well as challenge areas where you need to grow. There's one of the attributes in your project health monitor is shared understanding. If that scores low, you know you've got work to do on your alignment on why. These are 3 different types of health monitors. You pick the one that is most appropriate to the team you're working with. That could be a leadership team, a specific project team, or a service team. And the attributes vary slightly between these to make them most appropriate to the team that you're working with. How does it run? So you have your group together. These attributes are from the project team, health monitor, full-time project owner. Do we all know who that is? Balanced team. Do we have the right roles and responsibilities in our team to get the project done? These ones circled in red, the shared understanding and the one pager, really indicate, is your team on track? Do you have an alignment on why you're doing what you're doing? So how do we work? We talk about the definition of that attribute, and then we vote. Do you feel like, yes, we're strong here, I know what we're doing, we're okay, but we have some problems here, or you know what, we're really struggling in this area. Now, it's not the goal to convince others that you're right on this. We can expect that there may be people who go, hey, I know exactly why we're doing what we're doing. I was here from the beginning. I helped create that vision of our mission, and I'm good to go on our alignment. There might be somebody else who's joined the project, maybe mid project. They're not quite sure why they're doing what they're doing, and maybe at odds with the other people in the team because they don't really have that same shared understanding, and they could be voting red. It's perfectly fine to have some reds and some greens. This will point out where you need to do your work. Another technique I'll mention is project checkpoints. So you don't want to wait until you're about to deliver to find out that you've missed the mark on achieving your goals or your target outcomes. At each phase of your project, you want to stop and evaluate. Do we still know why we're doing this? Make it a team play session. Keep the team performing at their highest level by checkpoints, checking in with the team. Are we still good? Do we still all understand why we're doing this? Changes can happen in projects. They always do. These are good times to check in and say, what do we need to change to make sure we're still all aligned? And again, go to the Atlassian Playbook to learn more about any of these plays. They're set out in detail on how to run them and what to expect from them. Or you can talk to me at the US after party. So we've talked about why. The why is so important in project management. And we've discussed some tools and rituals that you can use to facilitate these sessions to align your teams. So the last thought I'm going to leave you with is this. As human beings, we are wired to find meaning and a purpose in what we do. If you can tap into that and get teams truly passionate about what you're asking them to do, you will achieve great things together and get a lot more enjoyment out of your teamwork. Thank you.